Welcome back to Next Gen Diecast for the final round of the Legends Piston Cup. For the first time on the channel, we will have an 8-race final to determine the champion. Let's go ahead and introduce the 4 drivers. First up, it's the 3-time Piston Cup champion, number 51, Doc Hudson. Hudson comes into today's race with 4 wins, a fast time of 8.085, which is not only the fastest time of the Legends Piston Cup, but the fastest time here at Thunder Mountain Speedway. Next up, it's number 91, Randy Lawson. Randy Lawson is the only driver among the 4 finalists that does not have a Piston Cup title. He comes in with 2 wins, an 8.567 as his fastest time. We'll see how he does against the stacked field here today. Next up, it's number 94, Louise Nash. Louise Nash has won 1 Piston Cup title. She's got 2 wins, a fast time of 8.808, and she has come through absolutely clutch in some big moments in the Legends Piston Cup to get to the final. Last up, it's number 300, Leroy Heming. Heming is Doc Hudson's old rival. He's got 3 wins. An 8.891 is his fastest time. We'll see if he can slow the fabulous Hudson Hornet down today and go after a 2nd Piston Cup title. We are ready to kick off the final. The driver with the most points at the end of the 8 races will be the Legends Piston Cup champion. For race number 1, Doc Hudson and Leroy Heming will start in row 1, and then in row 2, it's Randy Lawson and Louise Nash. Here we go, the gate drops and the Legends Piston Cup final is underway. Hudson leads out of 2. He's sideways, Lawson spins behind him. Coming out of 4, Hudson leads and he'll take the first race. Lawson 2nd, Nash 3rd. Heming back in 4th, and what a way to start the Legends Piston Cup final for the fabulous Hudson Hornet. He had a smooth run coming through 1 and 2, got a little sideways down the mid-straight, but he was able to hold off the charge from Randy Lawson in reverse. A lot of speed for Lawson, but Hudson was able to hold on, take the win in race number 1. He's got 5 points. Randy Lawson in 2nd, he picked up 3 points. Louise Nash has 2 points, and then Leroy Heming back in 4th with 1 point. We are set and ready to go for race 2. Leroy Heming and Louise Nash will be starting in row 1, and then in row 2, it's Doc Hudson and Randy Lawson. The gate drops and we're back at it. Good race going into turn 1. It's Heming that's going to take the lead. Louise Nash not far behind. Coming out of 4, Heming into the wall sideways. Louise Nash makes the pass for the win. Heming 2nd, Lawson 3rd. And for the first time in the Legends Piston Cup, Doc Hudson finishes outside of the top 2. Heming got off to such a good start in that race, but coming out of turn 4, he gets into the wall. That puts him sideways, and it opens the door for Louise Nash. She's able to push her way through after a great run out of turn 4. And Louise Nash picks up a big win here in race 2 and jumps to the points lead. Louise Nash has 7 points. Doc Hudson back to 2nd with 6 points. Randy Lawson in 3rd, he's got 5 points. And then Leroy Heming back in 4th with 4 points. The drivers are back at the gate ready to go for race 3. Louise Nash and Randy Lawson will start in row 1. And then in row 2, it's Leroy Heming and Doc Hudson. The green flag is back out. Nash off to a great start on the inside. She leads coming out of 2. Lawson spins behind her. Coming out of 4, Nash leads. She's up on the wall. She'll win the race ahead of Lawson. Heming 3rd. And in back-to-back races, Doc Hudson finishes 4th, which is quite uncharacteristic. Randy Lawson spun coming out of turn 2, and then watch him going into 3. Heming with a nice move as he dives to the inside and takes away 3rd from Doc Hudson. And then Lawson with a good run in reverse, but didn't have enough time to close the gap on Louise Nash. So Nash picks up back-to-back wins, and 3 races in, she has extended her points lead. Louise Nash has 12 points. She has a 4-point lead over 2nd place Randy Lawson with 8 points. Doc Hudson falls back to 3rd. He's got 7 points. And then Leroy Heming remains in 4th place with 6 points. We are moving on to race 4. Randy Lawson and Doc Hudson will start in row 1. In row 2, it's Louise Nash and Leroy Heming. Here we go for race 4. Good battle going into turn 1. Lawson's going to lead out of 2. Louise Nash flips. She's upside down. Lawson with a big lead coming out of 4. He'll win race 4. Hudson second, Heming third, and Louise Nash with a DNF. She's upside down at the entrance of turn 3. We'll have to see what happened to Nash coming out of turn 2. Looks like maybe some contact between her and Hudson. She got pinned up against the wall and it flipped her right over. Randy Lawson would go on to win his first race of the final, but unfortunately for Louise Nash, with that DNF, it will cost her the points lead. So we are now halfway through the Legends Piston Cup final. Randy Lawson into the points lead. He's got 13 points. Louise Nash to second with 12 points. Doc Hudson is back in third. He's got 10 points. And then Leroy Heming in fourth with 8 points. We have just 4 more races to decide who will be the Legends Piston Cup champion. Here we go for the start of the second half. Race 5. Randy Lawson and Louise Nash will start in row 1. And then in row 2, it's Doc Hudson and Leroy Heming. The gate drops and race 5 is underway. Good battle for the lead between Lawson and Nash. Lawson pulls just ahead. They make contact going into 3. Coming down to the line, Nash puts a bumper on him, but it's Lawson taking the win. Nash second, Hudson third, and Heming back in fourth. What a battle between Randy Lawson and Louise Nash. And then you had Hudson and Heming battling it out for third. And watch him coming down to the line. Nash, a good run, puts the bumper on Lawson, but can't make the pass. And then Hudson just hangs on to third over Heming. So 5 races in, and Randy Lawson has extended that points lead. He's got a 3-point lead over Louise Nash. So Randy Lawson with 18 points. Louise Nash has 15 points. Doc Hudson back in third. He's got 12 points. And then it's Leroy Heming back in fourth with 9 points. We are ready to go for race 6. Louise Nash and Leroy Heming will be starting out front in row 1. And then back in row 2, it's Randy Lawson and Doc Hudson. The gate drops, and it's another good race going down into turn 1. Nash is going to lead out of 2, but she flips over. Hudson to the lead. Doc Hudson will win. Race to the line for second, and it's Randy Lawson taking second over Leroy Heming by less than 1/10 of a second. Nash with her second DNF of the final. Louise Nash had such a good run through 1 and 2 as she took the lead, but then she flips over coming down the mid-straight. Doc Hudson able to take the lead. He would go on to win by a big margin. And then Heming and Lawson would race to the line for second. Randy Lawson taking second over Leroy Heming. That DNF for Louise Nash certainly shakes things up in the standings. 6 races in, Randy Lawson still leads. He's got 21 points. Doc Hudson back to second with 17 points. Louise Nash in third with 15 points. And surprisingly, Leroy Heming still in fourth with only 11 points. He's the only driver yet to pick up a win here in the final. We've got just 2 more races to go. For race 7, Leroy Heming and Doc Hudson will start in row 1. And then in row 2, it's Louise Nash and Randy Lawson. We are back to racing at Thunder Mountain Speedway. Good battle for the lead between Heming and Hudson. Heming leads down the mid-straight. Here comes Hudson. He makes the pass through 3 and 4. Doc Hudson will win back-to-back races. Heming finishes second, Lawson third, and Nash with another DNF. This time she's come to a stop over by the Disney docket sign coming down the mid-straight. She was up on her side once again coming out of turn 2. Watch the battle going into turn 3. Doc Hudson throws it in on the inside in turn 3, makes a beautiful pass and goes on to win his 3rd race of the final. Randy Lawson will retain the points lead here 7 races in. He's got 23 points, but just a 1-point lead over Doc Hudson with 22 points. Louise Nash back in third. She's got 15 points. And then it's Leroy Heming back in fourth with 14 points. This is interesting. 1 more race to go. It all comes down to Randy Lawson and Doc Hudson. Just 1 point is separating these 2 drivers, and they're both starting on the front row of the final race. Doc Hudson on the inside, and Randy Lawson on the outside. Here we go, the gate drops and the final race is underway. Good battle going into 1. Hudson's gonna lead coming out of 2. Here they come into 3. Lawson making a run. Hudson into the wall and sideways, but he wins his 3rd straight race. And Doc Hudson just won his 4th Piston Cup title. What a tremendous battle between Doc Hudson and Randy Lawson. Hudson with lead going down into 3, and Lawson had a great run through 3 and 4, puts a nose on him, but just didn't have enough to get there and make a move. Doc Hudson, the fabulous Hudson Hornet, is back. Doc Hudson is the Legends Piston Cup champion as he finishes today with 4 wins and 27 points. Randy Lawson finishes in second, just 1 point behind Doc Hudson. He finishes with 2 wins and 26 points. And then we had Louise Nash back in third with 2 wins and 17 points. If it wasn't for some bad luck, Louise Nash would have been right there with Hudson and Lawson all the way to the end. Leroy Heming finishes in fourth with 15 points, which is probably quite a surprise to many. We thought Leroy Heming and Doc Hudson would have a great battle today, but ultimately it was Doc Hudson versus Randy Lawson. We'll check out the final in the team standings. NSG Racing, the team champion here in the Legends Piston Cup, they finished with 67 points. The defending champ, EP Videos, finishes in second with 59 points. Flash Racing rounding out the podium with 57. Then we had HCS Trucking and Race Cars in fourth with 48. And Ghetto Diecast Customs rounds out the top 5 with 39. A big congratulations to Doc Hudson, the fabulous Hudson Hornet, on winning the Legends Piston Cup, his 4th Piston Cup title. We also want to say thank you to everyone for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next time. Take care.